Approximately in 1789, there are records of our family being in Hingham, and they were crossed between the Tuttles and the Simpsons. Eliza and Eliza were married, and they had 2 children. And he went away to sea and never returned. And after 2 years, his brother came up from Attleboro and helped the mother, Eliza, with the 2 kids. And that was usually like a process that people would do if family members were extended or didn't return. So they also had 16 kids, so it was a total of 18 kids in The Simpsons. And then The Simpsons combined with my great-great-grandmother was Henrietta, and she married a Tuttle, and she did country days where she would expose inner city children to Hingham. My great-grandparents were shipbuilders and shoemakers, and so they had a factory where they built and produced certain things. And our barn is one of the buildings that's left of what they had built, besides the house at 105 and where I am at 111 Ward Street. So there's remnants of our family still in those areas. My great-grandfather was a farmer and a shoemaker, and he was an artist. He whittled artifacts from woods, and his brother lived next door. And I have a sign that says Tuttleville Farm. So he was a fireman in the town, a volunteer fireman, and he also ran a farm with chickens, and that's where I live at the moment. At the his name was Edward Tuttle. My grandparents, was Walter Tuttle, great-grandparents. And he married an Indian princess. Her name was Laura Vickers. And they had 6 kids, 6 children. My grandmother was Mabel Lindsay, and she was a part of that part of the family. We have since found different parts of the Simpson and Tuttles of the 16. We know about 4 different families that has come from that, the last 16 of the children. And so we have reunions. We've had them at the barn, at the house, and we've had them naming ceremony for Native Americans. And we've had reunions in Whitman at the VFW. So we try to keep connected with the family and try to keep our history intact. My mother was instrumental, and she got an award last year for being a Hingham historian. I always say that she dropped it in my lap because she got a lot older and she wasn't up to keeping the reunions going and keeping our families together. My uncle, he says, we only get together for weddings and funerals. And he says, we need to know who we are and who we belong to. This is a picture of the chief, my mother, and one of the older members of the family. My mom had been exploring the history of the family and who connected to whom and what the names were and all that. I put it on the internet, Simpson and Tuttle Family Reunion, and asked if anybody knew of anything or had any history to share with us. And so people started texting me back or sending me money for tickets because we were going to have a reunion. And that's how we were able to expand, and find and connect with. So we decided that because we really didn't know at the particular time, we thought we were Wampanoag, but according to the chief, we're Chappaquiddick. And so we wanted to research, and oddly enough, a lot of people wanted to have a native name. My name is Turquoise Waters. My mother is Yellow Rose. It was beautiful. We had tents up and chairs outside, and she did the beating of the drums, and her grandkids also were drummers, and her son. And each one of us, we lined up, and we had our times to go in front of the chief and her son to be named. So it was very beautiful. It was a beautiful day that we had it. And my mother was ecstatic that she got to be named a native Yellow Rose.